Hey, so welcome to Intersection Magazine podcast. This is one of the first. We're recording live from an American guest that we came across through some uh, collaboration and some conversation online through his personal assistant. His name is Tom Paladino. Tom Paladino is into a very interesting part of science. He's into research and healing, and he uses a concept called scalar light. But let Tom introduce himself, talk a little bit about what he does, and describe some of the technicalities about scalar light. Go ahead, Mr. Paladino.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Thank you for the invite. I'm going to speak about scalar light, scalar energy. It's a new technology, which is the energy of the sun as well as the stars. Scalar light is the primal force. This is the energy that drives the sun and the stars. And I've developed scalar light instruments that harness that energy from the sun and the stars. And this technology, I believe, will have far-reaching consequence for the world. This will improve the living conditions of people around the world. So this is the new technology, scalar light technology.
Okay. Um, Tell us a little bit about your background. It says you have about 40 to 50 years experience in terms of your research and humanitarian work. How did you get into this study?
Yeah, at a young age, I started to read about Nikola Tesla. I really enjoyed the work of Nikola Tesla. An
Okay.
incredible, uh, if you will, scientist. Nikola Tesla was able to invent and utilize scalar light instruments. Now, that's
Okay.
pertinent because he was able to capture this free energy of the stars, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps. So today, behind me is a scalar light instrument. Today, I am following the lead of Nikola Tesla, and I am working with these free energy instruments. Again, this technology will change the world. Behind me is a free energy instrument. I will demonstrate that.
Okay. Um, Tell me a little bit about the what do you think like the key elements of scalar energy are? You mentioned something about matter uh, forming nutrients, enhance the energetic state by way of photographs.
Yes.
Tell me about the relationship between photographs and the energetic state.
Yeah, I'll do so. So when I'm working with these instruments, I work with photographs of people. A photograph of a person carries a force field or a signature of the person. So I
Okay.
never work with people, never work in the flesh. I only work with photographs. So this is the new science in which we can put an energy field, a force
Okay.
field on a photograph, and that's what I access, a person's energy field on a photograph. So people never come to my laboratory. To the contrary, people email me their photograph. And I
Okay.
actually place the photograph of a person inside the instrument.
Okay.
Once a person's photograph is inside my instrument, I can access their force field, their energy field on the photograph. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the new science of scalar energy, in which we're not working at a physical realm, we're working on a non-physical informational realm.
Okay.
It's quite exhilarating to learn that we can access a person, their energy field on a photograph.
Okay. Um, that was interesting. Do you think there's a difference between uh, the recent developments in photography with digital photography and what we had in the past, where you had negatives and of course at some point in time we had like Polaroid cameras. Is there a difference in how that energy is captured in those different types of photographs?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I started in the 90s, I was using Polaroid photographs, and those Polaroid photographs carried the signal as would a email photograph, a digital photograph. So I see
Mhm.
no difference in accessing a person's energy field, whether it's from a digital photograph, a photograph that's emailed, or a Polaroid, or if
Mhm.
you will, some people have said that they can make a connection with a person by way of a blood vial of that person. So it,
Mhm.
it appears that people can be in two places at once. What am I saying? A
Mhm.
photograph, regardless of the nature, regardless of the technique of taking that photograph, even an
Mhm.
X-ray photograph would work. So people can
Mhm.
be in two places at once. What is a
Mhm.
photograph? It's their bilocated version.
Okay. Okay. Um. Now, tell me a little bit about the unique experiences that you've witnessed while working in your lab with scalar energy.
When I work with these instruments, I can instruct them. They carry
Mhm.
information. In other words, scalar energy carries information. If I wanted to
Mhm.
download the energy of a vitamin, okay, this is vitamin
Mhm.
B5. If I wanted to download pantothenic into a person,
Mhm.
this photograph of B5 would allow
Mhm.
me to take the energy, the signature of B5, and
Mhm.
download pantothenic acid into my quantum field, into my energy field. So I'm not
Okay.
taking a vitamin orally. I'm
Mhm.
downloading, if you
Mhm.
will, I'm imparting the energy of pantothenic acid into my
Mhm.
quantum field, into my energy field. This is how I
Mhm.
receive my multivitamins. I never take a multivitamin pack. I receive my
Mhm.
vitamins energetically through my force field, not
Mhm.
orally. I don't have to, if you will, ingest a vitamin.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
quite unique to be able to deliver the energy of vitamins.
Okay. I had a thought about 2 3 days ago. There's a the cultures I think in South America that they won't actually let you take the photograph because they believe
Yeah,
it that a photograph is it's like you capture someone's spirit. So they probably have a rough idea what they're talking about in terms of the connection between photographs and energy. What are
yeah,
your thoughts
yeah,
about that?
yeah. They're absolutely right. Anybody's photograph captures their soul, mind, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
My soul, mind, and spirit are on that photograph, and so some people
Mm-hmm.
are dubious about having their photograph taken because they believe that there's an energy field imparted upon that photograph. They're absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
absolutely
Are there
correct.
any mhm. Are there any forms of protection like can someone take have who has a photograph of me use it for the wrong means? Let's say, for
Yeah,
example, someone has access to scalar energy and then decides to just can I,
that's
you
that's
know?
that's a good point. There is no
Hmm.
protection because it's primal energy, and
Hmm.
nothing can stop scalar energy. And for that purpose, I guard this technology. I
Okay.
will not share this technology with anybody. I guard the technology.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Um, there were two other interesting points that you mentioned. Uh, the connection between scalar energy and photosynthesis with plants. Tell me a little bit more about that.
My my predecessor, a man by the name of Galen Hieronymus, was working with scalar energy instruments. Actually, he's the original developer of this type of instrument. And
Mm-hmm.
Galen Hieronymus was able to grow plants with
Mm-hmm.
scalar energy. And he was
Okay.
able to demonstrate that plants could grow exclusively with scalar energy. And
Mm-hmm.
the experiment that he performed, he put plants in
Mm-hmm.
his basement and he covered up the
Mm-hmm.
windows. It was a dark basement devoid of any
Mm-hmm.
light. And Galen
Mm-hmm.
Hieronymus, with the scalar energy instrument, could grow plants in the dark. Uh,
Oh wow.
I believe that proves that scalar energy is the primary
Mm-hmm.
reason, the primary mover of all
Mm-hmm.
photosynthesis, whereas
Okay.
electromagnetic energy has a secondary effect. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can grow plants in the dark with this
Mm-hmm.
primary energy, then I
Mm-hmm.
believe this energy is primarily responsible for
Okay.
photosynthesis, not
Mm-hmm.
electricity and magnetism.
Mm-hmm. I suppose my other question is around uh, this trend. There's this trend that I see online about frequencies. What's the relationship between frequencies and scalar energy?
That's a great point. Let's say a frequency is cycles per second, and the energy
Hmm.
travels at that
Hmm.
cycles per
Hmm.
second. Well, scalar
Okay.
energy does not travel. Scalar energy is
Hmm.
everywhere. It's omnipresent.
Okay.
So you do
Hmm.
not have frequencies per second. You do not have
Hmm.
cycles per second, excuse me. It's not a vector. It does not
Hmm.
move. It pre-exists
Hmm.
everywhere. You simply access that
Hmm.
environment. So you don't have to
Hmm.
move the energy. You simply access
Hmm.
the energy.
Okay. Um, just another interesting idea that I wanted to share with you. I'm uh, calling you from East Africa, a country called Uganda. And in my culture, they believe that, for example, if I need, uh, if I have a broken bone or something like that, that I can get assistance for a person who may be in another city, in another part of the country. And in our language, it's called okuyunga. It's like the person can literally fix my broken bone from his home without actually physically touching me. And I haven't done too much research about it, but I know that it happens. So it's just an interesting idea about how without physical touch, because you mentioned physical touch, and you said that scalar energy is not bound by time or distance. So just traditionally, we have uh, people who have expertise in a system of that kind. I suppose the challenge we have is a lot of what we do or a lot of what exists on the traditional level is kind of viewed as primitive and evil. So I just don't know how uh, uh, that can be overcome. I don't know if it can be looked at as a science, if that helps. But uh, just that's just another thing that happens here.
Yeah, yeah. I, when we consider this energy from the sun and the stars,
Hmm.
I have to drive home this point. It's fundamental. It's primal energy. And
Hmm.
as primal energy, you can essentially do anything with scalar energy. Why?
Hmm.
Scalar energy gives instructions to the universe. So
Hmm.
if you look at the entire universe, it's received its instructions from scalar energy. So if
Hmm.
you can control scalar energy, you control the instructions of the universe.
Hmm.
Now, put all of that into motion. This is a powerful, powerful instrument.
Hmm. It is. It is. Um, there's a couple of things that you mentioned which I need some clarification on. They point to, I suppose you can call it Eastern medicine, the Chinese and the Indians. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about the seven chakras first, and then when you're done with those, talk about the 12 meridian points.
Okay. I believe everybody has seven major chakras. What's a chakra? It spins. It's a spinning vortex. Here's a diagram of chakras. Seven main chakras. Those are scalar energy chakras. They spin. Now, if you
Okay.
can access those seven chakras, then with scalar energy, then you can correct that spin. You can correct them. So this is
Okay.
what I propose to do. A
Hmm.
scalar energy instrument will broadcast a scalar wave, which is a double helix.
Okay.
That's a double helix of scalar energy. And that double
Hmm.
helix should download into the spinning vortices of scalar energy, which are likewise a double helix. So the double helix of scalar energy, the primal energy, will create and maintain our seven chakras that are composed of scalar energy.
Okay.
Now, you put all of that together, this is a new way of science in which we're not working
Hmm.
physically with a person. We're working with a person's energy field. And in so
Okay.
doing, we can enhance their chakras through
Hmm.
energy of a scalar light instrument, not an electrical instrument. So this is an
Hmm.
entire new entirely new branch of physics in which we can access the seven chakras and reprogram or reposition that spin.
Wow. Okay. Then over to the 12 meridian points.
Yeah, meridians or chakras are always composed of scalar energy. So I
Okay.
want to make this clear. When I'm working with these instruments, this is
Mm-hmm.
what will emanate from my Tesla coil. If you can take a
Okay.
look at that, that's a chakra
Mm-hmm.
alignment, or that's a double helix alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the type of energy that's emanating from my Tesla coil. Now,
Okay.
once I work with this energy, it's in God's hand. In other words, there's no human input. The energy
Mm-hmm.
corrects, the energy heals, the energy performs all the functions, but it
Okay.
performs them on a person's photograph. Again, when I'm working with a photograph, it's as if a person is in two places at once. So I never work with people, I only work with photographs, which is their
Mm,
bilocated version. So if
okay.
I can be in two places at once, I only treat the photograph that represents me. Obviously, the photograph is not me, but it has my energy field attached to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Okay. Um. Great. Um. Now, is there a system that exists for diagnosis in terms of figuring out like what's wrong with me, what's wrong with the person? Can you run a test on a photo, for example, figure out what
Yeah,
needs to be fixed?
yes, I can, but uh, with a scalar energy instrument, you can, if you will, pinpoint disease signatures on a photograph.
Okay.
However, what I've done with my instrument, I've removed any of that human conjecture, any type of human reasoning. Right now, with my instrument, the instrument is so strong it will correct on its own. So
Okay.
anytime I place my photograph in the instrument, that's a good point. The
Mm,
energy, scalar light, pinpoints a disease signature. So
okay.
what am I doing with disease? I am pinpointing, identifying a disease signature, the energy of
Mm-hmm.
disease, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
bringing a disease signature to a state of chaos. That's
Okay.
God's master plan, to
Mm,
bring a disease signature to a state of chaos.
mm. Okay. Um. Sometimes I've had conversations with people who have seen you hear people talk about this person has a negative energy or this person has a negative aura. Um is it possible
That's,
for human beings to sense that kind of stuff in one another? And
of
is that
course it
also an
is.
application of scalar energy?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Mm,
That's an
mm,
indication of scalar energy in a person.
mm,
And
mm,
some people have that ability to pick up on people. Some people have a very a dubious character, and some
mm,
people can tell that people have a malevolent intention. And
mm,
that's, to me, that's the gift of the Holy Spirit. You have to be
mm,
very open to this, and you have to be aware
mm,
as to what you're experiencing. Yes,
mm,
everybody has scalar energy, and everybody has a scalar energy force field, and
mm.
some people can pick up on that force field.
Okay, great. Wow, thank you so much for your time. I'm just wondering, how can people connect with you? Where can people
Yeah.
find you? Um,
My
uh,
website is scalarlight.com. Now, everybody in the world can send us a photograph and we'll treat you for free. What am I saying?
okay. Mm,
On our website, we have 15 days of free sessions.
okay.
Anybody in the world can send us a photograph and we'll treat you for free, no questions asked. So
Mm,
go to the website, scalarlight.com,
okay.
SCALAR, light, LIGHT, scalarlight.com. And once you go to that website, you can treat your entire family free of charge. No questions asked. That way, you can prove to yourself how effective this is. We want you to prove it.
Mm, okay. So now, give us a rough idea, because my as I mentioned before, my podcast deals with innovation and technology, and part of it is business. So I have my audience is young people who are interested in business opportunities. So you've mentioned the innovation part. You've showed us the technology. Um, there's that delicate balance between trying to help people as well as, of course, financing your research and your project. How do you do that?
That's a great question. Our model is to help as many people as possible, and that's why we make the 15-day free session available. If people
Okay.
only want to treat themselves for 15 days, it's free. And I,
Mm,
I wish I wish the entire world would sign up for the 15 days of free sessions. Now,
mm,
we've had
mm,
an incredible response from people around the world. That
okay.
15-day free session is very popular with people around the world.
Mm,
I leave it up to people. Frankly, this is a new science, so it's going to take a while to prove this. But
mm,
nonetheless, I'm willing to treat everybody for free, at least for 15 days. And that's why
okay.
we have that on our website.
Okay. Great. Um, Man, thank you very much. Great to meet you. I hope we
Thank you.
can do this a little more when you make a lot more progress, and wish you the best in your journey.